continue to see the horrors inflicted on the people of Ukraine by a brutal Russian invasion. War crimes are being committed daily. The United European Union response in its strongest possible format needs to be continued with, I believe, additional measures as well. This military aggression has to be anathema to every right-thinking person. I welcome the withdrawal of more Irish companies from Russia, and those decisions should be commended and indeed strongly encouraged for any remaining Irish businesses in Russia. We all know that at the present time the priority has to be trying to provide for the safety of the Ukrainian people and also to get humanitarian aid to those most in need. I'm glad, Taoiseach, that you referenced at the European Council that there was a discussion in regard to deepening partnership with the neighbours of the European Union to the east. And indeed, I welcome the fact that there's a greater political awareness and acceptance of the need for the European Union to enlarge and have better relationships with those countries on the east. For far too long, we had too many apologists for Russian-style politics in this country. We must not lose sight of the longer-term project to have Ukraine, Moldova and Georgia as EU members. And I think even though at the present time the priority has to be the terrible conflict and getting humanitarian aid to people, we have to still ensure that the project of bringing those countries in as full EU members has to be progressed as much as is possible within present constraints. Thank you,
In terms of Deputy Smith's points which followed on, I strongly support Deputy Smith's points around the EU perspective of many states in the neighbourhood of Russia, that we should be accelerating their application to join the European Union, in particular Ukraine, but also the Western Balkans. Quite a number of states are very well advanced there. I think the European Union has been somewhat too slow. Some member states have held back in agreeing to that, but from a geopolitical perspective, the strongest protection that many countries in the neighbourhood of Russia and in the neighbourhood of the EU have is actually membership of the European Union. Countries like Estonia, Lithuania and Latvia, when the Cold War edifice collapsed, and what I mean by that is the Soviet Empire, those peoples had, for the first time ever, had a chance to get into a democratic framework and to be part of a wider family of European Union nations. They grasped it with open arms, and that's why many of them joined NATO as well, because their acute sense of insecurity, which we don't have to the same extent in respect of Russia. We have no sense of the experience that Latvians, Lithuanians, Polish, Hungarians had at the hands. I'm dealing with one by one the questions, Deputy. It's not all about you. There's other deputies in the House as well, and I'm answering their questions. And I just want to make that point.